Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. I think it's been a little while. Well, I did a live Faith Friday last week. I'm making breakfast, so let me just tell you all really quickly what I'm making, which is this is my favorite turkey sausage. It's actually pretty inexpensive at Walmart and grocery outlet, and it tastes just like the sausage from McDonald's, like the sausage McMuffins. So I'm going to have that with some eggs and some sourdough toast. I'm actually experimenting with eggs today because I think I've always had an allergy to eggs or some sort of insensitivity. I get like shooting pains in my fingers when I eat eggs. So I'm going to experiment with that today and see if it comes back, and then I'll know that I have an allergy to eggs. But I have a super interesting / heartbreaking / very near and dear to my heart topic today for Faith Friday. And because I work with a lot of young women, and I was a teacher, you guys know I was a teacher for 12 years at the middle school and high school level. I taught elementary 1 year. And, you know, when you're a woman and you're young as a teacher, girls they come to you and they're telling you their drama with their friends, and they're telling you all of these things about, they're concerned, and then there's, she backstabbed, she's dating him, da 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 da. And when I heard about this story of Shanquella Robertson, I thought, oh my gosh, like if I could tell this girl one thing, and if I could just tell young women one thing, it's everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not your friend. And like part of me I feel like my heart is hurting for this young woman, right? But part of me also feels like in our age, this current age, social age that we're in, like the need to feel belonging and acceptance is super strong. Even though we have social media, I think like that actually exacerbates this, because there's this desire to be not only have a sense of belonging, but also for everyone to know that you belong. And so that leads to this sort of grasping at straws and keeping, maybe hanging around friends who you shouldn't be around for so long. And so my heart breaks for young women today, because I think there is this extra pressure to, have friends and be accepted and, be loved, and to be able to show that to the world, and to be, back in our day, being popular was kind of like just a school thing, or just a, like maybe a weekend thing. But here, these women and girls everybody knows, because they're on social media. And so it just breaks my heart. First of all, I want to say that. And I feel so much grief, honestly, for the family and for this girl, that just really senselessly lost her life. So I want to talk about degenerate men and wounded women, because when I watched this, when I heard this story, if you're not familiar, y'all can go Google it. It's very popular, so you can go Google it. If you don't know, this girl, Shanquella, went to Mexico with her friends, and they beat her up, and she's dead. And they watched, like I think it was 3 other friends, they watched. And the reason why I titled this video Degenerate Men is because what I've seen as an educator, as a school teacher in schools, is that boys are no longer raised to protect women. Now, we can blame feminism, we can blame whatever, but they're not raised to protect women. And that was the first thing I thought, honestly, when I watched the video and when I heard the story, I thought, why did these boys let this happen? Men, they're 25, so men, let me stop calling them boys, because they are men. Why did these men sit here and watch? Who raised you? And why in society are men afraid to step in? Why are they afraid to be warriors and execute justice? If that was my son, I would be beating him over the head with a stick. Because how dare you watch a woman get senselessly beat? What kind of man are you to do that? And that is my personal opinion on how boys should be raised and men should be raised, and that's biblical. Like, you protect those who are weaker than you. You do not watch other women get abused and sit there and record it. But I think that speaks to this social media age where it's like, I want to be accepted. I'm afraid to be the one who stands up for right, for justice. And so instead, I'm going to watch who raised you. And I have such a problem with this because they were Black. I have a huge problem with that because, again, we want to talk about, the Black community. And that boy sat there and watched that girl get pummeled, destroyed, and recorded it. Who raised you? That's like the degeneracy of it all it bothers me. Because, again, we want to talk about having a community, but you, as a Black man, watched this girl get killed, murdered. And we have to ask ourselves, when are we going to expect, and when are we going to demand that our boys be raised as men and to protect women? That's the first piece of this. It is so heartbreaking that we have, they are being raised and let them do it. Like, just let them fight, oh, well, this girl was killed and there were 3 other people watching. And then I want to talk about wounded women. And this is something that I used to tell my girls when I was teaching. And I don't really know another way to say this, you guys. I don't, because I don't have the language. So I'm just going to call it a sisterhood wound. And I used to tell my girls, there is a massive sisterhood wound in the world whereby women want to fight other women and they are jealous of other women. And when it comes down to it, if women are wounded, they are not going to be able to be your friend. They're not going to be able to support you. They're going to be jealous of you. And I actually had this conversation with one of my athletes who just went off for college. Everybody is not your friend. And especially with women, you have to be careful. Women who do not have healthy relationships with their mother or with their sisters tend to be backbiting, backstabbing, and male identified. And what that means is, because they are looking for validation, they will never defend you, protect you, or stand by your side or be loyal to you if that means that they may be disliked by a male. And honestly, that is what I thought of when I saw this video. I thought, why, like, where is your compassion for your fellow woman? Where is your compassion for the fact that this other woman that you're with, that you say is your friend, what happened? Why did you allow this to happen? And to me, it's a sisterhood wound. It's the fact that, you know what? It's like, well, better her than me. At least it's not me. And that's that issue that I think is prevalent in our society, this catty jealousy. I don't know the relationship between Shanquella and these other girls or these other women, but what I do know is that whenever someone if you are the friend who is elevating, if you are the friend who is changing your life, if you're the friend who is starting to pull your life together, and you are around women who have a sisterhood wound, they will do anything and everything in their power to pull you back down because they are not comfortable with themselves. And I'm telling you guys, I have had this conversation with my girls. I have talked to them about this because it is so important that they are able to recognize that everybody is not your friend. And you have to be careful with who you allow in your circle and who you allow to be intimate with. The way that I actually discuss the people that I'm close with is this. I have my sisters who are like my best friends. And then I have 3 friends who are also like sisters who I have known for years. Like, I've known these people for 10 plus years. They are my friends. Then there's the acquaintance, right? And maybe they're, people who I go to coffee with, they're like business colleagues, but they're not people who I trust with my life or my soul. And it's so important that young women are taught to be able to like to look at other people and say, are there red flags here in this relationship? Because oftentimes there are, and this is not blaming her. These people should be in jail. They should be living out, serving out those consequences. And I firmly believe that. And I do pray for justice for her, because this is a symptom of our culture too, and where we have where I think we've gone wrong as a culture on raising women and men. One of the verses in the Bible, it's like iron sharpens iron, and then there's another one that talks about, it's escaping my mind right now, in Proverbs, like evil company corrupts good manner. And when I think about friendships, and I think about telling girls, like, how do you decide who's your friend? Watch their conduct. Watch how they talk about other people. Watch how they behave and respond in other situations, and ask yourself, do I want to be like this person? And if the answer is no, if the answer is I don't want to be like this person, then put them at acquaintanceship. And I believe, and I actually think that maybe there were no red flags. Maybe, I want to believe she was a super smart girl. She was super intelligent and emotionally aware, and that she had no idea that this was happening. And I think what's giving me that sense is that when in the video, the dude was like, you ain't gonna fight back? Like, the degeneracy, you guys, like this, what kind of evil resides in a person for them to be like, oh, you're not going to fight back. I'm watching you be beaten senselessly. And I'm like, well, you need to at least fight back. Like, unconscionable, you guys. Like, how? What kind of upbringing tells you that is okay? What kind of evil demonic influences tells you that that's okay? We have some work to do as a society, right? If this is the response. And so I firmly believe that she didn't know. And because she was for her to be like, I'm not going to fight back. I believe that's the spirit of who she is that, she was a peaceful person. And so she probably didn't even think, oh, these people, would do something like this. But I think it's a testament, and it is a lesson for people to look and go, really evaluate your company, and really ask, are the people that I'm hanging around, are they sharpening me? Are they making me a better person? Are they trustworthy? And, you're not going to get it right every time. You're just not, because that's just, that human beings are deceitful and desperately wicked, as the Bible says. So you're not going to be able to discern every single person. But at the very least, you guys, I'm doing 3 eggs, 3 egg whites, just so y'all know. This is not all for me. You guys are like, this girl eating a whole feast. Although it could be. So yeah, and just really asking, discerning and asking yourself, are these the people that I want to be like? And then really keeping your friendships close to your best. Like, who is actually my friend versus who's an acquaintance? Because those are two very, very, very different roles. I'm putting sea salt. Then I'm doing Hatch chili flakes from TJ's. These are like New Mexico green chili flakes. And then I'll do some black pepper as well. So all that to say, I think the biblical lesson here is to, for me, in terms of friendships, is just being careful and being selective about who you allow to get super close to you, right? We all, I think the desire to be loved and wanted and accepted is in all of us. And it's hard sometimes to discern who really has our best interests at heart. But I think praying about who is supposed to be in your life is really important. And then just taking that Proverbs, which is iron sharpens iron. A friend is one who sticks closer than a brother, right? How do I asking yourself, is this person trustworthy? Is their character something that I want to emulate? You know, and just taking your time before you trust people is really important. And I think in a social media age for young people, that's becoming increasingly more challenging, just because, you know, you want to be loved. Everybody's going on vacation. You want to, you know, be seen and all that. And it's, but it's not worth it. And if you're someone who is currently elevating your life, you're someone who's currently in your level up, and you are around people who are not on that journey, I encourage you to seek out another group of friends, because as I talked about earlier, the sisterhood wound is very strong. It's very strong. And with that comes jealousy and the desire to tear you down sometimes. And you need to be careful about who you're, you know, who you're allowing in your circle. So, oh, that looks amazing. Anyway, you guys, if this video resonates with you, please leave a like, a comment, a share. And I encourage you to pray for this family and pray for justice for this young woman. And let this be a lesson to everyone else about, you know, maybe friends who are not so good friends, and maybe people who have this sort of evil, demonic spirit in them. Honestly, I would pray for them too, that they would be made whole, because it's senseless. It's senseless, and it's truly our society is yeah. We are in trouble. All right, you guys, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to go ahead and finish up these eggs. They look yummy. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my toast in the toaster and eat my breakfast. All right, you guys.
Bye.